The scariest stories are never the ones that happen in abandoned buildings or dark forests at midnight. Yes, the scariest stories are the ones that happen on a Tuesday afternoon in a place you thought was safe, to someone who thought it could never happen to them. Ordinary people living their ordinary lives. The three people in tonight's stories were not looking for anything unusual. They were just living their lives. An Airbnb, a hospital corridor, a Thursday evening at home. 3 ordinary moments. 3 things that should not have been possible. Let's begin. Our first story comes from a woman I'll call Rachel. Rachel travels frequently for work. She has stayed in dozens of Airbnbs over the years. She is careful. She reads reviews. She checks ratings. The property she booked in March of last year had a 4.9 star rating. Hundreds of reviews. Clean, safe, comfortable. Every review said the same thing. Rachel arrived on a Sunday evening. The apartment was exactly as described. Clean, modern, nothing unusual. She unpacked her bags, settling into the familiar routine of a temporary home. On the second night she was lying in bed reading before sleep. The soft glow of her e-reader illuminated her face. She looked up at the ceiling, her gaze drifting idly. There was a smoke detector directly above the bed, standard, normal, just another fixture in a perfectly ordinary room. Or so she thought, except for a small hole she had not noticed before, a tiny, almost invisible imperfection. Rachel stood on the bed and looked at the hole closely. A cold dread began to creep in. Inside the smoke detector ... was a small camera, pointed directly at the bed. A red recording light was blinking slowly, a silent, insidious eye watching her every move. She called the police immediately, her voice trembling. 2 officers arrived within 15 minutes. They removed the device carefully, a chilling confirmation of her worst fears. They told her it was a professionally installed camera, not something bought cheaply online. The officers told her the device had been recording for at least 4 months, an unimaginable violation. Over 200 guests had stayed in that room in 4 months, each one unknowingly exposed. The host had a 5-star rating, hundreds of positive reviews. Not a single complaint. Nobody had looked up. Nobody except Rachel. She was the one who saw. She told me the thing that stays with her is not what she found. It's the chilling realization. It's lying there for 2 nights before she noticed, looking at the ceiling without really seeing it. She checks every smoke detector now, every single time. A permanent scar on her sense of safety. Our second story was submitted by a registered nurse with 12 years of experience. She asked me to call her Maya. Maya works night shifts at a large hospital. She told me that in 12 years she has seen many difficult things, but she has never been a person who believed in things she could not explain. Facing away from her, she assumed he had wandered from his room, disoriented. It happens with elderly patients at night. She made a note to check on him after her rounds. The next night he was there again, same spot, same time, same position, facing away, not moving. Maya walked toward him again. He was gone before she arrived. Third night the same. On the 4th night, she decided to walk toward him immediately, no hesitation. She walked the full length of the corridor quickly. He was gone again. She stopped at the room he always stood near, checked the patient chart on the door. The patient listed on that chart was an elderly male. admitted 3 weeks earlier. Maya scrolled to the bottom of the chart. Deceased 3 days ago. Time of death 3:02 a.m. Maya told me she stood in that corridor for a long time. Her request is still pending. Our final story is one that I have thought about almost every day since it was submitted to me, because of what happened at the end. A woman I'll call Elena was at home on a Thursday evening in September. Completely ordinary night. Watching television. She picked it up and looked at the caller ID. She answered. A voice spoke immediately. Her voice, exactly her voice. The voice on the other end used her full name, not a nickname. Then it said 3 things she had never told another person. Private things. Things she had only ever thought about alone. At the very end of the call, ... her own voice said 4 words. Then the call ended. Elena called her best friend and asked to stay the night. She didn't explain why. They walked through every room of her apartment, methodically, like they were looking for something specific, or someone, then changed it again 3 months later. But she is grateful she listened to it. A patient who kept returning to the place where he died, and a voice on the phone that knew things it should not have known. 3 ordinary days. The hospital corridor looked like every other corridor. The phone call looked like a glitch on a screen. None of them looked dangerous until they were. Stay safe.